How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about physical changes I've had since having ME CFS. Many times we talk about fatigue, brain fog, and all the other issues, pain, and all the other issues that ME brings along that you can't really see. Today I'm going to talk about physical changes that I've had since getting ME many years ago. I'm very curious to hear what changes you guys have had. Also, it's very different for women too, so I'm curious what physical changes have happened for you. So please leave some comments. I try to read them as much as I can. So I'm going to start off with the most with the one that is the most visible to anyone that knows me, and that I would say is muscle tone. I was never like an overly muscular guy, but I've definitely lost a lot of muscle tone. I've lost a lot of strength, and definition. Part of that is getting older, but after getting sick, I definitely noticed a lot of like muscle wasting. Just my general frame has gotten a bit smaller. A lot of that is because I'm unable to exercise like anyone with ME knows, but in general, I have noticed quite a bit of a difference in my overall muscle mass and tone, changing quite a bit after getting ME. Another thing that you can physically see, or maybe not see on me, but is my balance. My balance has never quite been the same since getting ME, and that's something that I've definitely had to try to work on as much as possible. But anyone that's been around me knows that that's definitely changed quite a bit since I first got sick. Another thing that has changed that you might not see on me, but has definitely been measurable, is my eyesight. My eyesight has changed considerably after getting ME, blurred vision, and just an array of issues with being able to see as well as I used to be. Now, some of that's aging, but it all kind of happened all at once. The things I'm listing off pretty rapidly after getting sick. Another thing that I've had is muscle twitching and muscle contractions, cramps. That's actually been visible. I've gone to the doctor for it, and you've seen my muscle just kind of twitching on its own. Sometimes it could be painful, and sometimes it's not. But it's kind of like when you get your eyelid twitching, but you get it in various parts of your body. Sometimes it's the thigh. For me, it's often in my arms, but I have had it in legs, rib area, back. The bigger the muscle group, the more it bothers me. Sometimes it keeps me from sleeping. That definitely started after. I've tried treating that with various things. That's another video, but that is another thing that has been visible to my doctors and family. Let's see, muscle weakness, I guess, kind of ties into muscle wasting, but I have had a big difference in strength. Again, I was never, some big, strong bodybuilder, but I have noticed a big difference in my strength decrease since becoming sick. Another thing that happens is, and a lot of people with ME might relate to this, reacting poorly to medications, supplements, whereas before I just took anything I needed to, and I never got side effects. I never would break out in hives, rashes, things like that. Now it seems like anything that a doctor tells me to try, I'm always in that small percentage where I seem to have a reaction. Let's see, skin. I've had skin issues since getting ME CFS, redness, rashes, stinging, but visibly rashes. Let's see, stomach issues. I guess that's not something you see on someone, but I've had a lot of stomach issues since getting ME CFS that I've had to go to doctors for, and long history of that after having ME. Hair loss. I think I've had normal hair loss I'm almost 40, so that's somewhat common. But the hair loss I'm talking about is kind of just clumps coming out. It grows back, but I've had clumps come out, just falling out. They weren't times of high stress or anything. They just kind of happened. Luckily, most of the time it grew back, but that is definitely another physical ailment that you can see. And I did talk to my doctors about it. They just said, we've heard of this happening, and there's nothing they could really do about it. Luckily, it hasn't happened a lot, but that has definitely happened over the years. Let's see, what else? Bags under my eyes. I get really bad bags sometimes, and sometimes I just look ill. That was one of the first things I started noticing. I started looking in the mirror once the ME symptoms started. I didn't know I had ME yet. I started just looking in the mirror, not really recognizing my face. I looked very pale, and very bad bags under my eyes, which I never had. It would be very puffy up here too. My eyelids were very puffed up, and I just looked sick. Maybe people wouldn't notice I didn't know me because it didn't look horrible, but if you knew what I looked like before, people would often ask me like, hey, are you getting enough sleep? Well, are you all right? Are you working too much? Maybe you should, take a break, take a vacation, things like that. What they didn't know is I was already cutting down work, cutting down school, cutting down anything that was physically taxing to try to get some rest. I just felt like I was overworked and I just needed rest. And the rest never helped. Let's see. Posture is another physical thing that's changed. When I was younger, I would get compliments on my posture. I would always stand up straight. I found that after having ME, I don't know if it's from muscle pain and soreness. Sometimes it's hard to really, sit up straight. And when walking, I've noticed I've hunched more. I've always walked with a very straight spine, chest opened up. I've always kind of had a good posture when walking. I have noticed that my posture's gotten real bad over the last probably 6 or 7 years. I've been working on trying to get it back, so it's a little better now. Now, some people might say that's not because of ME. Some people might say this happens to everybody. But the direct pain and tightness caused by ME is what would make me lean certain ways, lean forward. So I'm fairly certain it was because of the ME. I had none of these issues before ME, and they kind of all happened within a 24-month period. If these things weren't caused by ME, it's not something that happens within a year and a half, in your early 20s, mid 20s. So I just wanted to list some physical ailments that were visible to my family and friends and to my doctor, and were attributed, according to my doctor, to ME. I would love to hear in the comments what physical ailments, visible physical ailments that you've had from ME, because this disease never stops amazing me. There's so many things and so many symptoms and issues that it causes. And I also know there's a big difference with men and women, so I am curious to hear from the women as well. But also the guys out there, there's not a lot of us. There's a lot more women that have ME, and I am curious to hear from the guys what physical ailments that you've had that are visible by your doctor and your family and your friends. It's a tough illness. You got to be tough to have it, because it definitely challenges you every single day. But there are treatments for a lot of the things that I just listed that can help improve it to a degree. But that's a whole nother video, and that's something you should talk to your doctor too or talk to your doctor about. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. Until next time, take care.